Alright, this is about the second time I've tried to shoot this video, so I'm going to try to hurry up and blow through this because the last time I ran out of storage space on this phone. I probably need to get a real setup. Alright, this video is going to be a companion to the OS X video, which basically shows you how to set up the ability to rename sequences and tracks in your MPC software without using a mouse or even having to look at the monitor. This is for the Windows 7, and I did one for OS X, but in that one you actually have to position the mouse over the field first and then do your rename. And it's good if you're going to do renames successively, one after another, but it doesn't work so well if you like to do your renames right in the middle of your workflow. With this solution, it actually works better, and it will allow you to do your renames in the middle of your workflow rather quickly. So let's get into it. First thing you want to do is go to autohotkey.com and download a piece of software called AutoHotkey. Click the download link and launch the installer. Once you have it downloaded, the installer is going to present you with, let me get it here, answer this question. I already have it installed, so you're not going to see this screen. The installer is going to present you with this screen. Seems like common sense, but I'll just state it here just in case you don't know. I'm running Windows 7 64-bit, so I'm going to install the 64-bit version. If you're running XP or a 64-bit version of XP, you'd run 64-bit. If you're running a regular XP, you run 32-bit. Just choose the one that's appropriate for you. It's going to then go through all the standard choices of where do you want to install it. Do you want to create a shortcut? You can pretty much click next to all of this. There's nothing exciting in the installer, but I just wanted to show that one screen real quick. Once you have it installed, let me minimize that. You want to launch the software. Programs, where the heck is my mouse? AutoHotkey. I'm looking at this through my camera and actually already had it running, but we'll just ignore that for now. Once you launch it, you'll get a little H down in your system tray. Alright, you want to right click on that H and then choose Edit this script. It's going to open up a text file. The text file is entitled autohotkey.ahk, and you'll find that in your My Documents folder. AutoHotkey uses this file by default as its auto load script. So when it starts up, it's going to automatically load the scripts and make the scripts that are available in the file the active ones. So you don't really have to create a new one, but you can if you wanted to. In any event, when you open it, it's going to automatically or already have some sample scripts inside of it. You can just delete those or put a little semicolon in front of all of those. For whatever reason, when I set this up the first time, it didn't really work correctly, and it didn't really work until I just deleted everything and just left behind the scripts that I needed. More than likely it was something stupid that I did, and I had a typo or some kind of command in there that was breaking everything. But whatever the case may be, just to keep it clean, I'd recommend deleting all the sample script stuff out of there. Once you have it installed, obviously you want to create your own scripts. You can copy this script that I have here, which basically, I'll read it from left to right. It's basically saying I want to use Shift-Z, that plus sign is for the Shift key, it represents the Shift key. 2 colons, this is what's going to pipe or pass that hotkey trigger into the action that I have here, which is a click. And then I have the coordinates where I want the click to occur. So in order for you to find out those coordinates, this piece of software, which is really good, comes with another piece of software, or a little utility called Windows Spy. You want to right click on the H, open up Windows Spy, and it'll open up another little window. You want to slide that window to a side, start up your MPC software. And I only put this on to do this video, so I'm going to run in demo mode. But once you open up the MPC software, you'll notice that the Windows Spy now is showing information about the mouse position. What you want to look at is the inactive window field and the coordinates that are in that field. First, you want to come down to your MPC software and place the mouse in the track field. You don't have to click, just place it over top of it, because we want to capture those mouse coordinates. So once we get those, we go back to the Windows Spy and we write down or just remember those coordinates, 871, 844. At that point, you want to go back to your script file, which should still be open in Notepad, and then you enter those coordinates here. That's where you place your coordinates. You then do the exact same thing for the sequence name. This time I'm using the X key. Again, I'm using +X, which stands for Shift X, 2 colons. I want to click, and then I want to go to a particular coordinate. For me, it was 875, 697. 875 on the X plane, 697 on the Y plane. You do the same thing. Come back to your sequence field, leave the mouse, and then look at the active window coordinates in Windows Spy. Then you come back to your script file and then enter those coordinates in this location. And you can do the same. Of course, I like to leave notes for myself to explain to me what this thing is actually doing. Semicolon to put a comment in, and then edit the name of a current program. For this one, I'm using Shift-C. I got the command, which I want to do as a click, and then I got the coordinates. I end this program with the words return, and then you hit save, file save, to save your script. Close out your script window, close out the Windows Spy application, and the most important thing you want to do is to right-click on your H, click on Reload Script, and now your script is active. From here, we can test it out. So as you look in the MPC software, track 1 says unused, as it always does by default. Here's my hardware screen, says unused. So as you noticed in my script, I had the track name set to be renamed using the Shift-Z key. So hit Shift-Z, give it a name, hit enter. I just renamed my track. My sequence name, I had it set to Shift-X. I want to rename my sequence, so boom, blah, blah, blah. Sequence was renamed. If I wanted to rename a different track, obviously I just go to the next track, blah, blah, rename, I'm done. Go to the next track, rename, done. And as you saw in my script file, I also can rename my programs. So just rename my program. If I want to rename it again, call it something that's actual, that makes sense, or just rename my program. I can do the same thing. I can just go to the next track, give that track a name, blah, blah, blah. Now you notice, because of the way things are, you want to be careful when you do your program names, because we all know that the program name, as the tracks move forward, is going to stay the same unless you have a different track program selected. But in any event, this is really good for renaming sequences and tracks. That's primarily what I'm using it for. And you can also set up the functionality to program, or to rename your programs. Like, again, we can go into our sequence, give it a new name, and just that quick, it's done. Did not have to touch the mouse one time. I haven't even looked at the monitor since I've been doing this. I have mine set to the Z, X, and C keys, and they're all right in line with the shift. So for me, that makes it go real fast as I'm working. I think, as you're looking at this process, it looks a little slow because I went through the whole process of actually setting it up. But once you actually use it and you're in the middle of your workflow, you'll find that this is actually pretty quick. And that's pretty much it. What you can actually do in your script, and let me go back and open that script real quick. Edit this script. This is just a basic script. What you can actually do is add additional code in here, and you can look in the tutorial on their website that explains it, and I'm going to actually do this with mine. There's additional code to ensure that the MPC software is the active window, because what can happen, and I'm assuming what will happen, is this, as you're working through, you'll have plug-in windows open, and you may go into something else outside of the MPC software, and then you come back into the MPC software, and it looks like the MPC software is active, and it may not be, and then you try to execute one of these commands, and it's not going to work. But this actually has a heck of a lot of functionality once you get into some of the scripting, and you can actually set it to ensure that I can click on this, that the MPC software is actually the active window. It's a pretty simple command. I think it checks to see if the MPC application exists, and then it forces it to be the active window. And then at that point, you'd have all your hotkey commands defined underneath of that. So it's just one little minor addition. I may put the actual script in a forum post as opposed to in this video, because it'd be easier just to describe it with you seeing it, and then you could just copy and paste. So if you got any questions, hit me with a PM on the forums. If you got any questions about how to set this up. But other than that, keep doing what you're doing. Peace.